Good morning, everybody. It is Marie here from Skeinz. You're with the Skeinz Diary, day 4, Thursday, the 21st of May. How is everybody today? I've been up and at 'em early, and I was over at the mill first thing. First time I've been to the mill since I've been back at work, so it was really nice to head over and catch up with all the team. I actually really miss them. There's such a good crew over there. They really are. They're incredible, and it was so nice to catch up with them, see what they were up to, and they are flat to the boards, as you can imagine. Not been at work for about 5 weeks, they are going for it, absolutely going for it, to try and catch up and get all that wonderful yarn out to you. So I know I was a number of them follow the diaries, and so they catch up with us when they get home from work. So it was so good to see them, and they also about 3 of them also wanted to pass on the regards to everyone else out in the Skeinz community as well, because they really do love it. They're really passionate about what they do, and it was really neat to head over there. And while I was over there, I'm going to start with the restocks. While I was over there, one of the things that I noticed on the balling machine madly for the morning was merino soft white, which I know so many of you are waiting for. With any luck, we could actually have that even loaded as soon as tonight, because we can get that loaded in the stock in tomorrow morning. So yes, that is definitely there. And when I headed back, the crinkle of cellophane, sorry about that. When I headed back, I have a van, if anyone has seen my vehicle. I had this big old van. They said, "Oh, can you fit 8 cartons in your van?" It's like, you bet I can. So with me, I brought back some Perrindale, some more Perrindale stocks. Again, those will be loaded up. I'll flick out a note as soon as I've got those loaded. But they have been loaded up, and they are those 3 there. The white, obviously, because we've done a big bleach run. So Perrindale white, Cyclamen, and Eureka. I adore Eureka. This is one of our new colours that we did. It's just such a fantastic blue. So these 3 are now, with any luck, before I leave today, we'll have those loaded up for you as well. So good that we're finally starting to get the stocks back through, which is fantastic. What did I want to talk to you about today? I thought I would have a chat to you today. Monday I talked about the gold wing and some different options for that. Another pattern, and I wore, I think on Monday, I had on my Chika sweater from Midori Hiroshi, and I absolutely love it. And her other, and probably her more famous pattern that she has, is Ranunculus, which is right here behind me. And we have knitted this Ranunculus in pearl luster. In fact, this is one of the most popular projects that anyone who buys our pearl luster knits with it. You can get away with essentially 3 balls will do the project. As you can see, it's this beautiful, lovely, gorgeous little popover. And Kirsty, she has knitted one in the gardenia, and in fact she had hers on here on Monday, and it just looked absolutely beautiful. Totally beautiful. And it's a really, really good layering piece. So I mean, I know that we're heading, I don't know what it was like at your place this morning, but it was 1 degree at mine, so it was quite chilly and quite frosty. But heading into the warmer months, this sort of style light floaty top is perfect to pop over as a layering piece. It will take you right through sort of late autumn or spring, summer. And it really is a versatile little piece. And it's something that you don't necessarily think to knit, these very sort of sheer light floaty fabrics. But they're actually a fun thing to knit and a very, very easy thing to knit. However, the beautiful thing about that pattern, and it's like with my Chika, I made modifications to the Chika. You can also do modifications to your Ranunculus. And the Ranunculus, Heather, who's also working today, and this is what inspired me actually, because she walked into work today wearing this, and I was like, that's what I'm going to talk about today. And she knitted her Ranunculus. Both her and Heather, her and Kirsty knitted them at the same time, and I'm just going to stand up so you can see this. She knitted hers in Southland bulky. Now if I stand off to the side, hopefully you can see. So there's hers in Southland bulky. There it is in the 3-ply. Southland bulky, 3-ply. Quite a different style of garment. It is a proper full-on sweater. it still has that wide shape and very positive ease, which is great because it means that it can look very sort of boho and flowy if you're a smaller frame. But if you're a larger frame like me, it actually gives you a really nice silhouette. You can wear, as Heather has done today, she's worn, she's got jeggings and a black top, and she's popped this over it, and it looks fantastic. And as she said, because this is in the bulky, it is super cozy warm. And I have to say, the handle on this is fantastic. I said to her, what have you done? Have you done anything special? And she said, no. She said, I just did the soak and the block and the softener. And she's worn this. She said she has actually worn this quite a bit. And it feels great, and it's a brilliant project. It's a really quick project to knit. She said it took very little time at all. And in the pattern notes from Midori, she does talk about a lace weight yarn. This is sort of a light fingering here, which is the pearl luster, but she said it can go all the way up to a worsted weight yarn. Now bulky is probably a little bit heavier again, but it is just fine. So the gauge on this is 14 stitches to 20 rows to 10 centimeters on a 6mm needle. Now that is actually, we have got a 16 stitch to 22 row on 5.5mm needles for our Southlander bulky. So that is pretty much well within the realm. If you moved up to a 6, you would get that. So what you're getting with a garment of Ranunculus in this bulky is you're actually getting one that has good cover factor. So see that with the cover factor, like if I put my hand under there, you can't see it. It's worn like a normal sweater, but because it's got the positive ease, it doesn't feel too heavy, which I think sometimes people find these bulky weight sweaters, they can feel too heavy. This doesn't feel heavy at all. It would be light to wear. Whereas as you can see with this one, you can see my hand through that. It's the fabric itself is incredibly sheer. The other thing too, Heather has done hers to the crop size. So as you can see there, it is quite cropped. But you wouldn't need to do that if you didn't want to. If you wanted to actually increase the size and actually have it so it does fall down, instead of cropping at your waistline and you wanted to have it drop down to crop it to your hip line, you could do that no problem whatsoever. You just need to keep a wee idea on your yardages. So I just really wanted to share these with you because I think it's just really nice if you're going to purchase a pattern to be able to know that you've got versatility in there, and it actually helps add value to those patterns that you already have. A few other notes that she's got in here. She said it is actually written only to the one size. Now both Heather and Kirsty are very different sizes, but what they've been able to do is they've just sort of looked at where they've done with the extra positive ease, and they've just gone through, and as Heather said, because of the needle sizing and the amount of positive ease, she's had absolutely no problem fitting it. And I have to say this would fit me really comfortably as well. So if you haven't got Ranunculus in your library yet, I think it's one that you should actually consider. If you think that, as I said, I'm not a huge sweater wearer. I tend to wear tunics or stuff like this, which is like a popover with a lot of positive ease. And that's why I love Chika. And I've been really enjoying the Chika. This is another sort of staple piece that would work well in the wardrobe. Other than that, it's fairly straightforward. So I thought I'd just also show you a couple of neat options. So this is the Gypsy Green, which is what Heather has done hers in. But I actually think Ranunculus would actually look really lovely in that Southlander, that natural. I just think that there is a natural rusticness to it. That's in the bracken. I think that would look amazing. This is the other colour that I really love too. This is Dusky Heather, which is actually a dyed colour, but when you look at it, it's still, you can see the grey. So it's this yarn here, basically, but in a cooler version. So it's actually had a very subtle mauve popped over it, which still gives you that really beautiful natural look. You can see the grain of the yarn through that really clearly. And of course, the one that is the perennial favourite is Goldenrod. This in Ranunculus would look incredible. All of these yarns are in stock, and they are a fantastic price. So $14.95. So and that's a 200 gram ball. So if you're wanting a project that's quick to knit, easy, fun, really wearable. Yeah, consider Ranunculus either in the pearl luster that I have over my shoulder here or in the Southland bulky. Which to that end, in the post yesterday arrived from the wonderful Solange Thompson, who I talked about on Monday, who designs on Monday her Origami Lotus collection. Did I talk about them on Monday? Yes, no, I sent out a newsletter. I sent out the newsletter on Tuesday. That's what I did. But this arrived in the post yesterday. Look at that. Now, Solange, as well as a knitter and a designer, makes these most incredible bags. Look, it's fully lined. And she uses recycled fabrics and materials. Isn't that spectacular? So it's all recycled fabrics. It's got a beautiful, that's velvet there at the top, the doily. It is just amazing. Just so beautiful. So this arrived in the post this morning, and with a gorgeous note from Solange saying this is for our 10-year anniversary if we would like to give it away. And thank you, Solange. Yes, we would. We'd love to give it away. I think that is so generous of you. So what I've been out and done this morning is we've gone and bought a copy of Ranunculus, and we're going to give you this beautiful bag, project bag, plus 3 balls of the pearl luster in the argent colourway, which is what we've got there, with this gorgeous bag and the Ranunculus pattern, so you can knit Ranunculus yourselves. All you have to do to enter is make a purchase between, we're going to start from midnight tonight, it's just gone, so anything from today all the way through the weekend, and we will draw that on Monday. I'll draw that here on the Skeinz Diary on Monday. So if you are looking at picking something up over the weekend and you want to grab something, do, and you're automatically in the draw for this price. So I just say thank you, Solange. That is so kind of you. I'll pop a newsletter out and let everybody know that we're going to do that. I just think thank you for help celebrating our birthday with us. I think that is just utterly beautiful. I mean, look at that. Look, they even fit in there so beautifully. Oh, love it. Thank you so much. What else did I have to talk about? So you may or may not have remembered during the chaos of before lockdown, I did actually pop out a post about a price increase. You may remember that one there. Yes. So, of course, we were looking to do that on the 1st of April. Well, the 1st of April was right in the heart of lockdown, and it was a crazy time. It was not the right time to do it at all. Unfortunately, though, as the yarns that we have on here are vintage, merino, soft chatswood, Perendale, Albertine, and Orb. And all of these yarns, of course, had been sold through, and we've got new stocks coming through. And the reason for the price increase is our raw material on all of these yarns has gone up quite significantly, and we've been absorbing the increased cost on these for quite some time. And now that all the brand new stock is coming in of these fibres, we can't avoid popping them up, and I hate having to put prices up, but that is the reality of the world that we live in. So we are now going to be doing that on the 1st of June. So I'm going to pop this out in a newsletter today or tomorrow to let everybody know what those prices are. And so if you're wanting to stock up on any of these as they come back in, you may want to do so before the 1st of June. I will apologise. Things like vintage, for example, as many of you know, there is practically nothing there anyway. So it is just all the new stock that comes through. Most of it will be at that new price. So just so you're aware that that is going to be happening. Now, the other thing I did while I was at the mill was have a look at, I do a new product development meeting with Peter. And new product development is probably one of the most fun parts of my job. I get to essentially think up yarn and colours and combinations, and I look at the trends, what people will be knitting. I look at magazines, I scour Instagram, and go to shows like Stitches West and take inspiration from a whole variety of places, because inspiration comes from all sorts, absolutely all sorts. It is just amazing. So it has been really nice to be able to sort of go and talk to Peter and basically try and cook things up. So one of the things that we've talked about is in terms of getting more yarn to you, there's an opportunity for us to actually start introducing some seasonal colours into ranges. So you may start seeing in popular ranges like Perrindale, like Vintage, potentially Merino Soft, Mahana, and I think all possibly could be another one, or Albertine as well. You may see some limited edition single one-off colours turn up across the winter, so do keep an eye out for those, and when they're launched we'll let you know what they are. It's a little bit of a lucky dip of what they'll be. I've sort of had an inkling. I actually haven't chosen these colours, the mill team have chosen them, so this is new territory for me. I'm a little bit type A personality and I do like to be in control of these things, but this is something that they want to do, and so they've pulled this together, and I think it's a great idea. This is essentially the mill collection, so do look out for those, and they will be across a variety of yarns, so it'll be loads of fun. I can't wait to see what the first ones are when they come through. A couple of other things, these are just things that were sitting on my desk, and in fact they've been sitting there before lockdown, but we're kind of hoping to bring them out soon because they're sort of a ways with development. And I know Peter was in the dye house playing around with one of these things today. This is one of them here, and I don't know whether you can see that, but it is this really neat 4-ply yarn with different colours and sparkles, and these are the sorts of things that we fiddle around with. Now, when the yarn comes out, will it completely look like this? I don't know. We're still playing around with it, but these are the sorts of things that we are playing around with to bring to you later in the year. This is another concept that we're playing around with, which I've been wanting to, this will be called, at this stage its working title is Paisley Prints. These are something that we are playing around with, very sort of dyed in the wool, sort of come crazy Zelba ball-esque, but it's just playing around with colour and prints, and this has been made up just from some singles that we had printed and lurking around. So again, may not be these colours, but it just gives you an idea of some of the things that we've been fiddling around with. Now, what have you guys been knitting at home? Thank you very much, Margaret. I see someone was wanting to get hold of Solange, and Margaret May has gone and popped up her Facebook group there, the group, and I'm assuming, Margaret, that is the traders group from Woolfest, because that was supposed to be this weekend in Auckland. And if that is the case, and I'm pretty certain that is the case, do go and check out that traders page, because that is the traders page of everyone that was going to be there, and a number of them have actually popped up offers for the weekend, and I need to get onto that and do that. I need to pop up actually that drawer. Do go and check that out, because these are all the traders. I'm so good. I'm so devastated that I'm not going to be there, because I was really, really looking forward to catching up with everybody. It is such a fabulous event that Creative Fibre of Auckland run. So do go and check that out, because it'll give you an opportunity to catch up to all those people that would have been there this weekend. But you know what? That's okay, because we are going to be eventually able to get back together and catch up with everybody and say, oh yes, it is the traders page, awesome, and catch up with everybody. And that's I think that's going to be really wonderful and important. And I'm kind of working on a few things as well, even though I can't do Can this year. I'm just we will be definitely marking the weekend some way come August as well. So I'm sort of cooking up a few things with that across the winter, and we'll see how we're getting on. Bev is saying she's working on Zweig. How's that going, Bev? Is it looking good? What else is everybody working on? I've been a bit slack. I haven't checked out. Now I've got an admission to make. I still haven't yet cast on my gold wing. I've got the pattern out. I've read it. I'm one of these people that actually reads the pattern before she casts anything on. I know. I just can't help it. Well, anywho, I've read it. I've got the yarn there, I pulled the needles out, and I was going to do it, but I've been a little bit tied up with a few other things that have cropped up this week, and it just hasn't quite happened. So I'm hoping tomorrow I try and have most of Fridays off if I can manage it. So with any luck, I'll be able to actually get that cast on, if not this afternoon. tomorrow, and I'll have some progress to show you next week, because I'm absolutely itching to get it done. I'm really wanting to get it cast on, and particularly because I'm starting the beginning of it with the county. I think it will be just amazing. Margaret, you're an angel. She's just popped in here. That Woolfest is 29th of May 2021. I'm assuming back at QMU again. If QMU Showgrounds, for those who haven't been, is out of west of Auckland, and it is a fabulous, absolutely fabulous venue. I think it was perfect for the event. It was pastoral setting, beautiful liquid ambers. It was all autumnal, and it was wonderful. The atmosphere was incredible. Oodles of parking. It was great. Everyone is so busy. Justine's working on a medley shawl. Barbara's doing a love note. Oh, I love my love note. Margaret's on Floozy 2 using handspun. Oh, Margaret, that sounds gorgeous. Oh, now here we go. Sue, let's see what Sue reckons. She'd like to knit herself a jumper with a circular needle. Always knitted with 2 needles. Pieces, oh, crikey, everything. Chat's moving faster than I can have a look. I've always knitted with 2 needles, pieces, and so on up. Any advice on how to get started? Good question, Sue. So the thing I'm going to suggest that you start with is actually a children's pattern. And it's called Milo by Georgie Nicholson, and it's the very first pattern that I knitted in the round. I'd never knitted in the round before, and it's just a little, and it's pretty. I've got a couple of samples here I can show you, but I'm not going to jump out and get it. It's just a little sort of square type vest. But why that is such a good pattern to start with is that it has garter stitch at the top, and then it's got stocking stitch through the body, and there's a little cable piece if you choose. But what's so good about it is it's top down, and it actually teaches you a number of techniques in terms of tackling in the round top down sweater, which most sweaters now are. It gives you a chance to get a handle on the needles. You can play around with things like magic loop method. And the one thing that Georgie did when she wrote that pattern is she wrote it because she wanted it to be a pattern that was really easy for people to understand. It's very well written. It's written for people that have never worked in the round before, and I think that that's a really fantastic one to start with. So there's Milo. The other one actually she also has is called Lily. That's another one I would consider as well, because it starts with a piece that's flat, and then you join it in the round, and then you do a flared skirt. So that's probably less challenging from an in the round perspective than Milo, and that may even be a better start for you. Again, both of those were I did Milo first, and then I did Lily second. So I've done both of those, and I just found that once I got a handle on those techniques on a smaller project like that for a baby or a child, then you can move to actually a larger project. And the one thing that I'll say is projects like Love Note, Ranunculus, they're all Floozy. In fact, a number of people have done Floozy from Libby Johnson as their first ever top-down project in the round. They are really, really well written, and they're really good places to start. And they're also patterns that so many people have knitted before. So if you've come across an issue or a mistake or a challenge or whatever it may be, there'll be somebody in a community, particularly here in the Skeinz Speakeasy, that would have knitted that pattern as well, and they can actually offer advice and give you a hand. So that's my advice to you, Sue, is to start out with that children's pattern, and then graduate up to an adult's pattern once you've got things done. Oh, see, Joanne's knitting Black Pearl Grandpa Cardi. I'm just so loving the Black Pearl. Absolutely adore it. Oh, I'm liking the sound of this. Wendy is saying she's doing something a little bit different. She's crocheting a big and cozy cardigan called the Curvy Girl cardigan in Lodge yarn, and she's really looking forward to wearing it. Actually, that would be gorgeous. Oh, Lodge. I've got great news on Lodge. I did announce actually a while ago that I thought that, we were having Lodge back, but we didn't know whether we could get the fleck. In my NPD meeting this morning with Peter, he's managed to source some of the viscose net that we use to create the Tweedy fleck in Lodge. really excited about this. So that means that we can get lodge back. We're going to throw a couple of extra colours in there, and we're actually looking at extending the range and putting in there a lodge sport, lodge Aran, and then lodge chunky. So I think that would be fantastic. We're really excited about that. So, I mean, in all honesty, you probably won't see that until about, it's looking like September, October, before that comes through. But yes, lodge is definitely coming back. So really, really helping with that. Actually, Barbara's also popped up some really good advice here too for you, Sue, saying start with a cowl. And actually, the cowl that, I've got 2 cowls that I have published on my Ravelry page, which is just my surname, Buske, B-U-S-C-K-E. I'm super easy to find. And both of those, one is called the Ever After cowl, which is the one I featured here on Monday, and the other one is called Rib B, and that is just a basic ribbed cowl. Both of those are perfect in the first time in the round beginners projects. This is my one tip that I'm going to give you, which the wonderful, actually, Nikki Epstein, who's an American designer, she came up with this tip. And what I do, whether it be the Ever After or the Rib B, is that I'll cast on my stitches, and then I will always work the first 2, at least the first 2 rows on straight needles as if it were straight, or my circular needles like they're being worked straight. And then when I go to do the 3rd row / round, that's when I join it in the round. And that enables you that by that stage the stitches have relaxed on the needle after the cast on edge, and when you go to join in the round, it just means you don't get them twisted, because when you get them twisted you end up with a Mobius. Believe me, no one wants a Mobius in the round knitting. So then when you go to join them together in the round, it's easy to get all the stitches sitting the right way, and you just use the wee tail from your cast on edge to stitch in those 2 rows, and you'll never see it, it'll be invisible, but it makes such a huge difference. Me personally, when I first started knitting in the round, I can't tell you how many times I Mobiused because I cast everything on and then tried to join, and I couldn't quite see. It's really difficult to see over that cord whether they're all sitting the right way round, particularly in a finer yarn. So that's another little tip that really helps. And there is plenty of support on YouTube as well. Definitely look up Magic Loop Method too. That's a really good thing. Suyen is working on socks. Naked Skeinz dyed by you. Yum, that sounds good. And Jeanette, who's always knitting, is she's doing the Sun Shower Crescent Shawl. Oh, and that's great, Jeanette. She's using the snug in purple and some great. I'm glad to see that you're finding it nice to knit. I'd love to see what that look like blocked. Do make sure Jeanette posts loads over on the Skeinz Speakeasy. So if you're in here and not a member of the Skeinz Speakeasy, do make sure you go and check that out, because there is plenty of inspiration there, and a lot of our regulars here post over the projects that we talk about here in the chat. So that's fantastic. Louise Milo is by Georgie Nicholson, also known as Tikki Knits, which is Tikki Knits. Right. All right. Right. Sorry. Yes, there we go. Mohair. Ray is asking, mohair coming? Yes. So there's 2 things on mohair I can talk about. Yes, the mohair is definitely coming. It started moving through the mill. Well, when I say it started moving through the mill, the fibre has arrived, and the binder, we actually had to wait for the binder, because of course mohair is a lot of the mohair that we do is a wrap yarn, which means you've got to have something to wrap around it. We use an invisible polyester or polyamide binder. The other one that a lot of people use is a silk binder, but those are fiendishly expensive, and we're working really hard to make sure that this mohair is affordable for you guys, because it's particularly for the fine one, we're using a super fine kid, and I've seen the fibre, it's stunning. So that is coming. So it is definitely in progress, and it will definitely be landing for this winter season, no doubt about that. And that is the super fine kid. We've also going to be putting in a DK as well. After the success of the DKs that we did in prints for Stephen B, that were just crazy successful. They sold out faster than the DK Standard and Foreplay. We're going to be putting a mohair alpaca blend down in a DK in that really beautiful lush brushed style. So Peter's just put that on the board, and so that is probably going to be coming closer to the spring, but those are both in track. The other person I spoke to today was John Woodward. We spoke to him this morning. He is now, if you know anything about the fibre industry in New Zealand, he is literally Mr. Mohair, and he's fabulous, and we get our mohair through him. And I have convinced him that it's a really good idea that Woody needs to come on here to the Diaries and talk to you about the mohair industry in New Zealand. I think he's a great guy. He's really fascinating. He's been doing this a super long time, and he knows everything that you need to know about mohair. So I'm just going to be emailing him and hoping to get him on in the next week or two, which will most likely be a Monday, because he tells me he golfs on Thursdays. So I'm working on that as well. All right, guys, I'm going to call it quits. I know it's only half an hour, but I've got 1,000,001 things to do, and I need to give Claire a hand. So it is so good to catch up with you. I will be here again on Monday. So just as a reminder, oops, don't drop those, Marie. Just as a reminder, this beautiful bag, which has got 3 balls of this argent, the Pearl Luster Argent, and you'll also get a copy of Ranunculus as well. All you need to do is purchase between now and I'll probably make it at 10 a.m. Monday. We'll make that draw before I go to air at 11 on Monday, and we'll just draw. It doesn't matter what you buy, how much spend. You just put an order in, and then we'll just run a randomizer of those order numbers and pick a winner. So thank you, Solange. That's so generous. So take care, everyone. I will talk to you again on Monday with that prize draw. Until then, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you then. Bye.